Well, believe it or not, bought another project car. I know that's just so hard to believe. Nope, not hard to believe at all. But this one's a little bit of a different one. First of all, just tell you a little bit about the car. And I bought another car that has a lot of parts, and it would be a parts car for it. So I actually got a few cars. This is a 1966 Belvedere 2. It was a 318 automatic car, nothing special, just column shift car. Um, but the thing that's kind of interesting, kind of important to me about the car is it was originally white. And a lot of you are thinking, okay, who cares? It was just a white car, no big deal. The reason I care that it's a 66 Belvedere 2 and it's a white car is many, many years ago, before I was even born, my grandpa had a 1966 Belvedere that was originally white that he bought, and when he bought it, it was a former drag car. It was white, and on the quarter panel, right above where the Belvedere 2 trim goes, and there's a little bit of a debate on it currently, still trying to figure out the exact right answer, but the car was named Cheap Thrill, because that's exactly what it was, and that's exactly how it was designed. The car had a 440 in it with a little bit of a cam, aluminum intake, headers, and all that, just kind of standard upgraded stuff. And the car had 456 gears. And there were stories that the car ran 1250s. We don't know for sure what it ever ran because it was never run at the track. Not long after it was bought, my grandpa removed the Cheap Thrill from the quarter panel because he was uh, doing construction work and everything at the time, and it just kind of set a bad look for him to be driving around with something like that on the side of the car, and that was kind of a different period of time. So that's what happened with that. So anyways, that car then was repainted green and then was given to my uncle, and then so on and so forth, and the original car is long gone. But now there's this one. So what I want to do with this car is I want to completely strip it down, paint it white, get all the Belvedere 2 trim back on it, which I have almost all of it, if not all of it, and it's getting a 440 in it. I'm shooting for right around 500 horsepower out of the car, which far, far, far exceeds anything the original car ever was. But as you can see just by looking at it, this is an incredibly, incredibly solid car overall, and it won't be too hard. But it does have some rust spots, like it's got a hole right here at the base of the A-pillar, so that's not really that big of a deal, just kind of like a triangle patch, and it's a relatively flat area, so it shouldn't be a really big deal to do that. The rocker is good on this side. The quarter right behind the tire has one little spot about the size of a quarter, but that's not really a big deal at all. The fenders are pretty nice. I'm going to use the fender off of the parts car on this side because this one you can't really tell in this light, but it's a little bit buckled. Probably lightly bumped into something at some point in time. And then this quarter, right above the wheel well, it's a little bit rusty, and then right behind. But when I got the car, the guy also gave me a patch panel from 4-door, but it all will work out to be the same. So a little look inside the car. The car was originally white. Looks like it had like a two-tone, like a green and tan interior, which that's definitely not going back in the car. Here's that patch panel for the quarter to fix. So the original car had blue interior, blue door panels, blue dash, and everything, but it had one singular black bucket seat, and that was it. It was very plain, very stripped down, and didn't have any kind of extra interior related weight to it. And it even had just like an aluminum firewall pan between the seats, the seat and the trunk areas. So that's not what's happening to this. The original car was a column shift car. I would like to do a console setup in this car. I don't know for sure if I'm going to do that or not. That's kind of still up in the air. Definitely let me know what you guys think about that. Like I said, it's going back to white. The seats are going to be black for sure. But what I don't know what I want to do yet is I don't know if I want to have blue carpet dash and door panels and back seat, or if I want to just go all black. I'm set on the seats being black because it's what I want, and it's also the way the original car was. So that is kind of set in stone, I guess you could say. But overall, on the inside, I still need to get it vacuumed out, clean all this kind of junk out of it. Most of it's just like there's an old oil bottle or something, and there's some of the original door panels that are basically folded in half and they're junk. But the floors are really nice. There's no problem in the floors that I could see, and if there is, there may be just a couple of tiny pinholes to patch or to cover over or whatever we need to do. Which kind of brings me on to the next point of this car. This is not a full restoration. This is not going to be a full restoration, and I will never consider it that. This car is going to be a driver. It's going to be used as such. And this car is going to be happening very fast. There are a few events coming up that this car will be at. First and foremost, the No Name Nationals. I just passed the 500 subscriber mark, so I do qualify for the No Name Nationals. And I will be there. And if you don't know anything about the No Name Nationals, I highly suggest you look into it, whether you want to be a spectator or whether you want to be involved in it. The requirement is you have to have 500 subscribers or more, which I just did pass a short little while ago. So that is all good, and we're all qualified and set up for that. Still need to finish registering, but we will get that finished up. And then, by the way, that's in Sykeston, Missouri at Jeffers Motorsports, and it is September 30th and October 1st. If you want more information, you can, there's a website, nonamenationals.com, I believe. Also, you could talk to John Wilborn or Dallas Brown. I think they're in charge of the whole event. There's a lot of different events. There's bracket racing, there's grudge matches, there's anything you can really think of. And they've done a lot of stuff on their channels talking about it, and there's a lot of people going to the event and getting involved with this event. So here's a kind of picture of the trunk. There's a lot of junk in the trunk yet. There's a lot of trim and stuff I need to move out of the way, and even came with a spare tire. The trunk looks good. The only thing that I need to address in here, aside from obviously paint, is where the rear spare tire well. It is pushed up a little bit in the bottom. I think you probably just ran something over it sometime. We'll probably just get a hammer, a block of wood or something, at least get it mostly straightened back out. So we will do that. The trunk lid is mostly good. There's only one problem area there, which that wouldn't be a real big deal. It's relatively flat area, and that's just the skin. The inside's all good. So either we'll patch that or get a different trunk lid. Where I got this car, there's a lot of other 66 and 7 Belvedere, so a lot of opportunity for other parts. This was hit a little bit. Probably need to spend a few hours at least straightening that out. And there's the rust in the quarter. You know, it's very, very minimal. The front of the quarter is almost perfect, and there's one little hole in this rocker about the size of a quarter. In this car, at least a good portion of it will be getting blasted, so we can kind of start with something as fresh as possible, and then kind of circling back around to different events. There's one other event coming up sooner than the No Name Nationals. It's Mopars in the Park that is located in Stillwater, Minnesota, which is about 35-40 miles from me. And it's our kind of big local show once a year. And that takes place June 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So weekend after Labor Day, I believe. Yeah, I think so. And it will be there. So this car is pretty much within the next, I don't know, within the next week or so, this thing's going to be torn down to a shell. And due to our weather, as you can see, I can't blast it yet, but I can take all these pieces, all these different kind of pans and pieces, and even the fenders and doors and even the trunk lid. I could take that off and I could bring it into the shop, into a warmer area, and I can do most, if not all of that by hand. So moving on beyond that, when it comes to the underbody of the car, I will not be really addressing the underbody of the car very much. It's 100% clean and solid. I will go under there with a wire wheel and some minimal sandpaper and related things, and this also goes for the inner fenders as well and all of that. And I will remove any loose rust, any loose undercoating or anything under there that is loose and easy to remove, and then it's getting painted. It's not gonna get painted white. I have this it's not an undercoating, but it's like a chassis paint. My friend over at Bigfoots and Mopars actually gave to me, so I'll use that on this. I'll go from rocker panel pinch weld to rocker panel pinch weld, and from the back all the way up to this pinch weld, and it will be black. But I know that's not 100% correct. I know it's not 100% the way you should do things, but it is in the best interest of moving forward and getting this done and getting it on the road as soon as possible. So that's what the deal is going to be with that. And like I said, it will be a 440 and an automatic, shooting for near 500 horsepower, and obviously the torque will be higher than that. So this should be pretty stout, and these cars are a little bit lighter than the later B bodies, like your 68 through 70 Chargers, Super Bs, Roadrunners, and all that. So this will be a little bit lighter and give it a little bit of an advantage over those cars specifically. The best weight figure I can get on it is, I did see a weight figure on a 1967 Belvedere GTX with a 440 buckets, console, and all the extra trinkets and everything. And from the factory, this particular car, they claimed it weighed 3,450 pounds. So I'm with this shooting for kind of 3,500 pounds or less, and that sounds like a lot, but it's really not compared to a lot of other stock cars. This is a non-AC car. It's going to be staying a non-AC car. I don't need air conditioning. That's why they have these little wing windows, especially this one. There's not even any glass. That's air conditioning all the time. So but I'll fix that, obviously. So we're going to be doing all kinds of stuff with this car. And let me know what you want to see, because I'll be doing anything and everything when it comes to this. I mean, I'll be taking the doors off and stripping them down completely. Well, I'm going to leave the glass and everything in them, but I'm going to strip down the paint and everything completely, and I will paint them after I do body work and block sand for who knows how many hours. But this car will be mostly straight. It will be clean. It will be fast. and it will be done in a fast amount of time. So we're going to be getting to work on this within the next few days. So that's really how it's looking for this project as of right now. But I guess that's kind of enough rambling on for now, and you're going to be seeing a lot more videos on this and a lot more videos on other cars, and I'm going to do a video on the parts car that I got with this, which probably won't even end up being a parts car, because when I bought it I thought it didn't have a title, but the guy said he actually has a title for the car. So I'll use the parts I need and probably end up selling the shell, or maybe it still will end up being a parts car, but we'll see what happens there. So, but anyways, that's pretty much it for now, and look forward to seeing more information on the Belvedere coming soon, and I look forward to seeing many of you guys at the No Name Nationals. And real quick, regarding the No Name Nationals, I do have 2 call outs out right now. This is kind of a little bit of a side note, but I'll make a more official call out video. I've called out Bigfoots and Mopars with the 67 Cornet Jack Pine Savage, and I've called out Just Mopar Joe with his 1968 Barracuda Fastback. So look forward to that, and if anybody wants to call me out, feel free to do so. The only thing I have to say about that is this is the car, this is what'll be there, and when it comes to races, the races will be done as time allows. Obviously, I'm going to try to do things in order of who does the call outs first. If somebody calls me out first, I want to get it done first. So, and obviously later on, if there's a lot of call outs, then if something breaks or if somebody else's car breaks, then we'll have to figure that out. But definitely be looking forward to that, and I'll see you guys in the next one.